Hello, beautiful strangers, and welcome back to another episode of Myth. When last we left off, there were some I think universe is probably a right enough word, switching shenanigans. Berserker met Yurdi, and I can't remember. Today's been a weird day. I can't remember entirely what else happened. I finally have been able to, for the past couple of days, start reading VNs again in my free time. Not heavily, and that probably isn't going to last a horribly long amount of time, but here's hoping. And then while I was in the middle of reading earlier, found out that Norm Macdonald passed away, which is very sad because he's one of my top 5 favorite comedians. So that's sad. So I'm kind of just, want to sit and watch something, but I'm not. I want to record too. So there is that. Having a schedule and maintaining that is a good thing. And I have, instead of my normal glass of wine, because I didn't feel like going to the store earlier, because I didn't want to drive like 20 minutes to go to the liquor store that I like going to, I have tea. It's tasty. It's a fruit tea. What all is in it? It is an iced tea. God, what is in this tea? I think I got it from Adagio. I know I got it from Adagio Teas. I think it's purple papaya berry, I think is what it's called. It's like papaya and blackberry and maybe a bit of blueberry, something like that. It's really nice, really refreshing. Especially because it's, just purple water, basically. And I like purple. But, enough rambling on. Let's get back into it, shall we? Riri-san. I called out to her, but she didn't respond. Was this reality? I need to adjust my volume very slightly. Shit. And drop my phone while I'm in the process of doing that. Of course. Alright, here we go. I don't know what it is about recording that causes me to draw my phone all the goddamn time. It couldn't have been. It was just a white space. It couldn't even be called a world. Some sort of change must be approaching. And before long, something came into view. I was in my room. It was too early to let my guard down, though. No, this room was different from the one in that fake Tokyo I was in before. Was this really reality? I was still doubtful. Riri-san? She didn't respond. No one was around. I had to have someone confirm that this was reality. The shopping district was bustling, filled with people I didn't recognize. I wasn't particularly interested in that, though. I just kept on walking. Everything was normal, for now, at least. It was there that I took notice of a real change. It's abandoned. The place was even more dilapidated than I remembered it. The machinery was covered in dust. It didn't look like it had been used in ages. If there's no factory, then... Tap, tap, tap. I ran. For Ryoko Ichi's apartment. It, too, was empty. Was this really reality? This was clearly different than Tokyo up until the 10th day, at least. I really wasn't sure if this was reality or not. I tried to think of a way to checking whether it was or wasn't. There was a change, though. I recognized someone among the throngs of people. Yuri. Yuri was walking with some high school girls who seemed to be her friends. She was wearing her school uniform, happily talking with them. She seemed like your average high school girl. It was nothing. Getting in the way, like myth. I really made it back home. I shouted at the top of my lungs. I couldn't hold back the flood of emotion I felt. Just please let me do that. I looked down again. The world hadn't changed. This wasn't a dream. Nothing had changed. Everyone was walking on their own. Nothing was changing. Everyone had the same look on their face as they did their usual thing. Unchanging. What was the name of this day again? Who's the strange one? Ah, yes. I had a bad feeling about this. Unease raced up my spine. The fact that everything was unchanging didn't feel right. Yuri. I made my way through the crowd. I want to confirm that this unease was just me overthinking things. That's so true. I was only a dozen meters or so away from her. Yuri. I strained my voice as much as I could, trying to call out to her so she could hear me in the crowd. Yeah, well, right. Just a few meters away from her. Yuri. 2 meters. Yuri, it's me. It's Meito. Yeah, Keiko's totally right. 1 meter. I stopped counting. Yuri just kept going, though, not paying any attention to me. I stood there, dumbfounded. People I didn't recognize passed me by. Any of you see me? A natural question. Someone. This wasn't natural. Hey. I called out to an office worker. Excuse me. And then a high school student. Hey. I called out to all the people walking through the city, but wait a second. I grabbed the shoulder of a man wearing a suit. I could feel his shoulder, but just which of us was the strange one? I got out of the crowd and lay down on him. I think it should probably be I got out of the crowd and lied. Whatever. That's probably... lay is one of the few verbs that I frequently can't remember the conjugation for. I got out of the crowd and lay down on a bench in the park. I continued shouting and calling out to people, but it was all in vain. There were 2 things I was certain of. The first was that no one can hear me. The second was that no one could touch me. Damn it. Valkyrie, weren't you going to return me to the real world? The chances of returning to reality are extremely slim. Extremely slim. I stood up. Which one of us was the strange one? I staggered about for a bit and eventually found a fountain. This was the last thing I needed to confirm. Just which of us was the strange one? Am it? Was wasn't reflected in the water. God damn it. I was certain then. I was the abnormality. I was the strange one. Myth. Otherworld. What's the name of... she was there. We walked through some place I didn't recognize. And walked. And walked. Eventually, Yuri Yamagami-san stopped, though. Is this that Hoenn place? She nodded. It was a dark, narrow building. It reminded me of a tower. She proceeded forward. Who is it? A girl? A girl stood before us. The tone of her skin was quite light. Her face would likely get beet red if she ran for just a little bit. Not that it mattered. Let me in. Excuse me, are you one of our members? I'm going inside. Yuri took off her shoes without explaining a thing. Bye. I couldn't just stand there, so I went inside too. Wait. I'm busy. Yuri continued inside, though. Hang on. Yuri-san didn't turn around as she said this. What's your name? Huh? What's your name? Yuki Matsuda. I see. Yuri-san turned around after that. Don't worry, I'm not going to do anything funny. The tone of her voice reminded me of Mama. Hearing her speak so gently like that made me feel really happy. Okay. That's why I think Yuki Matsuda-san probably felt very happy as well. See ya, Yuki. We went forward. Yuki didn't try to stop us. Whoa. The glum hallway was very spacious, lined with a number of doors. Which one were we supposed to go to? That's weird. Yuri Yamagami-san didn't check any of the doors, though, even though she wasn't supposed to know this place. We arrived in front of a small door among all the other ones. There was a sign on it that said, Break Room. Clink. So you made it, Berserker? Yeah, I did. She was there. It felt strange seeing her in a place like this. I tried to act like I didn't mind, though. I wanted to go back home right away. Great. Now you can return to your world. Really? Yay! I'm so glad. I'm so glad I was able to remember what Loki-san said. I guess Yuri Yamagami is a bit of a bonus. A bonus? That's rude. They must have known each other. Don't worry, I'm Valkyrie. Valkyrie? I knew her. She wasn't who I was thinking of, though. That's why I said, no, you're... Berserker? She stopped me, though. I'm Valkyrie. Don't sweat the small stuff. Regardless. Yuri Yamagami? You heard about me from him, right? Him? Who did she mean? That seemed like small stuff, though, so I didn't sweat over it. You must want to know what you're supposed to do in this world, right? Yuri-san. If it's something in my favor, responded to her question. Wait, what? Huh. Questaton. Okay. I wonder how many of that type of stuff there's been in this visual novel as a whole, and I've just skimmed right over it. This tea is nice. Really refreshing. I do like tea quite a lot. It is. Just follow me." She walked forward, so I followed behind her. Yuri-san followed behind me after that. Myth, Day 13, Slim Chance of Hope. I didn't have a shadow in Myth's world. That's why I was used to people not having shadows, but the reason why it took me a bit to realize that. I no longer possessed a shadow or a body at all. I was just a vagabond, not existing in reality or illusions. I did make it back to reality, though. Riri-san. She must have returned to where she was from, to the world of a Goonie. Probably. Not that I could ever know for sure. I had no means of knowing, after all. I was extraordinarily stupid. I collapsed onto my bed. I guess that meant I still possessed some weight of sorts. How long will I be in this world for? I had no idea. Damn it. I threw my pillow. It hit my desk and sent the unorganized stack of magazines flying to the floor. Shit. I couldn't help but express my anger. Maybe it just remained like this forever, and that thought made me particularly uneasy. Because this was reality, and I didn't return to it. And I did return to it. That still didn't seem like it'd be the case, though. What should I do? I'm so dumb. Damn it. I was out of words to express my anger. Valkyrie gave me this chance to return to reality. But I had no foothold here in this world. It was like having bad reception. I couldn't speak to anyone. I couldn't actually live in this world. Think. There had to be something I could do. There had to be some way I could connect with this world. The magazines on the floor caught my eye. No, that was bigger than a magazine. A map? I had something like this? I reached down from my bed and picked it up. Tokyo, Saitama, Chiba. It was a map. It was a map of the 47 prefectures. One of them was marked with red ink, though. Someone wrote on it. This was my house, my room. The X mark on the map must have been something I wrote. Did I write this when I was still in this world? There was a small range of mountains in that area. I guess I have no choice but to check it out. I opened the door. It was the only clue I had in this world. Something might have been waiting for me if I went there. I had to take that chance. It was better than doing nothing at all, at least. I raced towards the station. Something might be there. I had to seek that possibility. This time for sure, I'll make it back. I ran. Valkyrie spoke of a slim chance. If I go there, perhaps I'd find the answer I sought. I flew through the ticket gate. Of course, no one said anything. The unease I felt earlier faded away, giving way to hope. It felt like the goal was in sight. Myth. Otherworld. What's the name of this? Crossing. Okay. Yuki-chan, we're gonna leave for a bit. Okay. Yuki Matsuda-san bowed. You're not even gonna greet your former best friend? Or Yuki-chan? She's just a stranger to me, at least right now. And much is true. We ended up outside after that. See, the problem is I'm not actually 100% certain that is Shimon, and that doubt keeps making me change how I want to say it because I don't remember. Yeah, we ended up outside after that. And it's not like that's not a spoiler as in, I don't remember if that's, if I'm remembering a spoiler or something. I actually genuinely don't remember. And the fact that it's not, showing her, I'm assuming that it is. We continued walking for a long time. And the sun had set before Yuri-san and Valkyrie, who were talking about some things that went over my head, had even stopped speaking. Valkyrie stopped before a weird place, though. There was a yellow and black pole. "What's wrong, Berserker?" She called out to me. I guess she noticed. I was just thinking about how I recognized this place. I answered her truthfully. I did vaguely recognize it. "I see," she responded to me. "I'm certain that this place is from your past." I get it. No wonder it seemed familiar to me. A bell rang, and a train passed by. The loud noise of the train running along the tracks began to vanish. A single woman was standing on the other side of the poles after the train had passed. She was... "Who are you?" Yuri-san called out to her. "Ryoko Ichi." And she responded, "It's been a few days, Yuri Yamagami-san." "Riri." I heard Yuri-san say that from beside me. "That's her former name." "Then she really is... She's Ryoko Ichi now. Don't forget that." Yuri-san walked up to Ichi-san. "Are you on our side?" That was the first thing she asked her. "Probably not, at least not from your point of view." Ryoko-san responded to her. "I'm his ally, though." She patted my shoulder as she said that. "What are you trying to do?" Yuri-san questioned her. "I want to release him from myth. We're forging the path that you once traveled on." Path? Myth, Day 14, Sign Leading to Hope. The train departed with a number of people on board. I moved to one of the cars where the least amount of people would be boarding. The end car. I'd count the number of people in it on one hand. Perhaps that was because we were headed for some place out in the middle of nowhere. I reclined into the corner seat. This might have been the first time I actually left the city. I didn't particularly remember due to my fragmented memory, but the scenery seemed new, at the very least. A strong urge to sleep eventually came over me. I wasn't expecting that. I smiled for a moment before deciding on taking a short nap. My destination was the last stop anyway. I didn't need anyone to wake me up or anything. The sounds of people and the train eventually disappeared. I didn't even see the conductor around, and it didn't seem to be deadheading. All right. I got off the train. The station was quiet. The sounds of crickets was more prominent than people. The town was empty, but that was part of its charm, so I thought. I took the map in hand. I was headed for the mountains a bit further away. Okay. I boarded a bus heading towards that general vicinity. Then I began to walk towards the mountain trail. Eventually, I had to follow an animal path. And finally, I arrived. There was nothing there, just like the map indicated. The place that seemed like the entrance was gloomy and didn't really have an inviting atmosphere to it. That was in my favor, though. I didn't want to be bustling with people. Otherwise, I wouldn't think that this would lead to an actual hint. I began to go up the mountains, determined. The inclination was quite steep. The mountain was filled with bugs, had poor visibility, and the air was stuffy. I wanted to come here for a hike. I couldn't be bothered with that anyway. I began my search through the mountains. The map and my general sense of direction were the only things serving as my guide. I was careful not to overlook anything. I left marks on things as well. I think I at least covered the front of the mountain. Time to go deeper. Huh, that's what he said. And the natural growth in the mountains got messier and messier the deeper I went. Weeds practically up to my hips, insects and spiders touching my cheeks. Not that it mattered. It didn't feel unpleasant as I advanced through the mountains, so long as I kept thinking about the potential answers I might find later on. Some time had passed when I found a cave of sorts. There had to be something there. The lengthy search hampered my ability to make rational decisions, though. Just a bit more. Blinding light assailed me the moment I reached the cave. I couldn't see a thing. My eyes weren't getting used to it at all. I could tell that there wasn't any overgrowth, though, because I didn't feel anything tickling at my legs. My eyes did eventually get used to the radiance, though, and what I found was nothing. I guess that was a bust. Just as I was about to turn back, I realized that something felt off and unpleasant, far more unpleasant than the overgrowth and insects. That unpleasantness, it was a smell. Myth. Otherworld. A path? Yamagami-san repeated what Ryoko just said. You must remember being here before? I don't. Yuri-san immediately responded. I see. Well, that might be so. Ryoko-san drooped her shoulders as she muttered to herself. Is there any point to me helping with this escape? Yuri-san questioned Valkyrie. There is. Valkyrie responded as such. Your very existence will disappear if you don't cooperate with us. She was trying to make it seem like it was obvious that would happen, but I had no idea what she meant. He's the key to the world you existed in. Wait, is he? Yuri-san's eyes went wide. Don't say the rest. Valkyrie stopped her from speaking. A requirement? Yuri-san glared, but Valkyrie ignored her. Is to make his memories return. Valkyrie placed her hand on my shoulder. And he must do that on his own. Then said that. I looked at everyone. No one seemed particularly happy. I have an idea of just who he is. But is there really any way for him to return? Valkyrie smiled back at Yuri-san. With her help. I thought she was talking about Yuri Yamagami-san, but I was wrong. Valkyrie meant someone else. Her gaze was directed at another girl I didn't recognize in a weird outfit. Kiki. The girl's name was apparently Kiki. She gazed at Ichi-san for a bit, but a moment later they both averted their eyes. Myth, Day 15, 0%. Trees surrounded the cave of sorts, and someone was dangling from one of them. I knew who it was without even looking, because they were wearing the same clothes I was. Why? I couldn't think straight. Just an overwhelming sense of fatigue began to rise up within me. I staggered over to the trunk of the tree and sat down. The sharp pain shot through my hips and I began to lean against it. I didn't know what was causing that pain, though. I took out the bulky map from my pocket. What would the Meto Tanabe from the real world do? I didn't know. But there had to be some sort of answer. And that was this. Hey, I saw that. The real me died. I'm not going to scream to the microphone. I apologize. More screaming, yay. Here? Fist punch tree. Over and over. Shake me. Shake hanging Meto. Pain, no. No more. No more. No more. No more. No more. This is still very loud, and I turned my headphones down quite a lot. Above me was myself. Or the real me from the real world. Why did he meet such a fate? I didn't know, but how could I? Because he was me upon returning to reality. The future was dark. Why did I wish for such a future? Let's go on a date once this third-rate story is over. We'll meet at the station. I'll be waiting, but not expecting anything. Words to gain hope in the real world. No, I just want to go back. I don't want to live in a world someone else controls. What's most important is for us to get used to myth. Words to justify oneself. The chances of returning to the real world are extremely slim. How slim? Several percent. Words to escape from them. And my answer to all of that was this? Several percent. No. I didn't wish for this. Right. I definitely couldn't have. How could I have? What was waiting for me in reality was school, friends, family, my love. Waiting for me? Myth. Otherworld. Try using her power. Valkyrie said as much. Kiki? Ichi-san's sharp eyes darted towards the girl known as Kiki. They must not have gotten along, although I only sensed as much. I wanted to ask about it, but I decided not to because I thought they'd get mad at me. You know the reason for that, yes? Your prognostication. By forecasting his future, you'll bet on him gaining something. Ryoko-san closed her eyes after she looked at Kiki-san. I do believe I can use my power here. However, Kiki wore a mixed expression upon her face. Will anything change by using it? Ryoko-san was still expressionless. It will. She responded, though. It must, even putting aside any reason to or the situation we're in. We were able to meet again, after all. I hold Riri's soul, and you are you, Kiki. Right. Kiki-san muttered to herself. You're right. She gently smiled at Ryoko-san this time as she repeated herself. I couldn't tell if they got along or not. I felt something funny. Ow, pop. I felt something funny between the two of them, though. As I thought about that to myself. Myth, Day 16, the several percents conclusion. Percent. Several percent. I repeated what Valkyrie said over and over like an idiot. Maybe what she meant by that was the chance of me attempting to return to reality even upon seeing myself in that state. That would explain why the odds were stacked against me. If the future is unmoving, then several percent possibility. A slim possibility existed for me. I still had a chance, even if that meant encountering the same fate that he did. A chance of returning to reality, and my future upon returning to reality must have been different. In which case, the setting sun shone upon the corpse, coloring his... Weird. My screen was turned on. Odd. Coloring him madder red. No. I just had to convince myself of that. I won't accept this. I shouted at the corpse. I'm different from you. I had to convince myself otherwise. Even if I met the same fate you did, I don't care. Convince myself. I need to get out of here before night comes. Think logically. My body insisted. Several percent. 9x% chance that you'll meet the same fate he did. But do you still want to return to reality? Yes. I want to believe in that slim chance. This is the first time I felt such strong emotions at that moment. The first time I've ever felt alive. It makes me feel like I'm actually Meito Tanabe. Like I can proudly claim as much. To return to reality, doing that is my reason for existence. For now. And that's why I stepped forward. Another step. What a hassle. One more. It's hopeless. I weaved through the trees I walked past to get here. The chances of you changing your fate are several percent, right? Several percent. Otherwise, you'll end up like him. I know that. Then why fight against it? Just accept death, so you can return to that governed world all the quicker. It's in your favor. No sadness. I don't want that. Why not? Why not? You're beginning to play the part. Your role as the being of light. To put it another way, accept this plot. Accept the tale she weaves. Plot. Excitement, emotion, enjoyment, sadness, suffering, shedding tears, happiness, anger, sorrow, fun, endless possible depictions. But that's all. That's all there is. And we're gonna. We'll play after I finish recording, I promise. That's all there is. What else could you desire? What I'm doing right now can't be expressed using such words. That's why I'm still going. Is that a problem? Even at this very moment, I feel alive. It's wonderful. No matter what happens after this, that slim chance, my pretty girl, will continue to guide me. It's wonderful to not be codified. Hey, my body stopped responding to it. Must have given up. By the time I reached the entrance of the mountain trail, the sun had completely set. I was trying to act cool by saying I wanted to live, but thankfully, I wasn't lying. I really felt that way. Hey, leave my tea alone. I got back on the bus. No one else was there. Then, I boarded the last train. As I returned home. Now get this, did exactly what the department had said to do, right? But we're the ones at fault regardless. Well, that's just how some people are. I listened to the people grumble to one another, a depiction of human relations born from their tough daily lives. I felt an array of emotions. An alleyway beyond the shopping district. I could spend the evening here. And just as I decided that, I was finally able to cut that taut rope. Myth. Otherworld. And I think it's a bit of a long episode, purposefully. The set of scenes are slightly longer than I was thinking they would be. Which, the difference between reading something and reading something aloud is, can be not drastic at times. But yeah. Yes, you're very cute, cat. Next time, well, we move ever closer to the end. There's not that much left. I'm not going to finish it next episode, especially since next episode's probably going to be a bit on the shorter side, but, we'll not think about that too much. I do think this is going to be the last week, though. There's not that much left. It might be close, but yeah. Like I said, I think at the point where we're sitting, I think it's under an hour. I could be wrong. Might be about an hour, might be 2. And that does, I'm, going back and forth between what I remember from, reading this and just reading this and being engrossed in the story at this point and just reading and reading and reading and reading and reading. And I think it was about to this point, like where I started this episode, where I started reading that day, and I just read from there all the way to the end. Could not put it down. But yeah, we move further to the end. Well, I have to see you all next time.